Here, 15th ranked Kevin Holland moves back up in weight. He's been fighting at 170. He's been looking healthy, been looking good, but he's on a 2-fight losing streak. So he said, let's jump back up to the old stomping grounds, and I'm going to fight the dangerous Polish Michal Oleksiejczuk, right? Apologies if I mispronounced the name, but all I know is Oleksiejczuk is going from 205 to 185, and Holland's going from 170 to 185. So my first question to you, because this is the first thing that popped up in my mind, who is at a disadvantage from the move in weight? Is it Oleksiejczuk or is it Holland?
I think it's Oleksiejczuk, Derek, having to cut down, having to drain yourself while your opponent is sitting back eating cheeseburgers. There's a little bit going into that.
And I think that's a fair assessment, but here's my question. Holland, we know that he could deal with the 185ers. He did it. He went on a nice run, right? 5 fights in a year type stuff, 185. Cool. Oleksiejczuk, if you look, he's been very up and down, man. He's been win, loss, couple wins, couple losses, right? It's inconsistent. Same thing for Holland. But the key is he went from fighting the 205ers and made the jump down to 185, which is, yes, it's a weight disparity, but it never looked like he really should have been fighting at 205 anyways. So it could be a little bit more discipline. The answer that I expected you to say, and this is just my own thought process again, was Oleksiejczuk is at a disadvantage because Kevin Holland's going to have a major speed advantage. If you're hanging out with the 170 fighters, you're having success. You're not winning, but you're getting close, and you're fighting a guy who was at 205, moving to 185. I just think that the speed is definitely going to be there for Kevin Holland. The question becomes, can Kevin Holland deal with the style of Oleksiejczuk, which is, I think, a little bit of a difficult style rather than what you see on paper? Because I think people see Oleksiejczuk as a pure marauder. What do you think?
No, I agree with you, Derek. It is a little bit of a different or a little bit more of a finesse situation Kevin Holland has to go in, because as much as people perceive that that Oleksiejczuk is that marauder, he does have good pressure. He has good power, but this dude is going to need to be able to close that distance to actually do damage in the fight. Like if you let Kevin Holland just pick you off at range with that speed you're talking about, he's going to have success. So if Oleksiejczuk can get inside that distance, that's where that finesse comes in, and he's going to need to utilize some better footwork, better technique to actually get there, and not just be a person who's walking you down. And we've seen Oleksiejczuk do it. I mean, I think this fight's going to be so similar to Oleksiejczuk versus Chidi and Jaquani. Maybe not the victory, maybe not the decision or the outcome, but just the style of how these two fighters are going to do it. Oleksiejczuk has a path to victory in this one.
Bro, I thought the same. Listen, hey, bravo. That was a beautiful assessment right there, because I thought the same thing. And maybe I shouldn't, bravo that, because we don't like groupthink here. But I agree. I was like, yo, how is he going to deal with the length of Kevin Holland? Because Kevin Holland's going to give this man fits. Until I remembered the old adage that I've experienced in my betting career here. Kevin Holland's an inconsistent fighter to bet on. We love him as a personality. We love him as a fighter. But when your money is there, we just don't always come out on the winning side. And a big part of that I've seen is that Kevin Holland gets caught in those transition moments. I think that Oleksiejczuk is a much cleaner boxer. Kevin Holland, with that length, can find himself overextended, can find himself crashing into where you're not quite hitting the mark, right? You end up in these weird clinch situations and all that good stuff. MVP, take that fight away, because that's such a unique style right there. Jack Della Maddalena, take that fight away, because that was actually a very, very close competitive fight. He just ended up on the wrong side of the numbers, and I think he outlanded him. He still just didn't get the win right there. When you take a look at the just these little more difficult style fighters, it looks like Oleksiejczuk is going to be a layup for Kevin Holland. And AJ, believe it or not, that's the exact reason why I'm taking the flyer on Oleksiejczuk, because the ones you think that you're going to get, sometimes those aren't the ones that you end up getting right there. So give me your best devil's advocate right here, because I think that everybody in the MMA landscape, the odds makers, they're all on Kevin Holland. They say that this is a get right spot, a smash spot. We're not losing 3 in a row. Currently, Holland has jumped from minus 200 to minus 310 plus 245. Come back for Michal Oleksiejczuk. Give me your best devil's advocate for why the Polish fighter will win.
Man, this one's actually not that hard to be devil's advocate against, Derek. Man, Oleksiejczuk has the path. We were talking about it earlier, and one thing you kind of alluded to it before, right? Kevin Holland, he has this spacing issue where sometimes he's overextending or he's crashing in too hard. Kevin Holland gets predictable in his blitz, and the reason he has to use the blitz is because he's so good at managing that distance, keeping you away with his length, that he has to come in and jab in and blitz in on something to actually get inside distance and do some damage. And when the fight gets later, when the fight starts to dwindle, or just take effect, right? You get a little tired. Kevin Holland starts to get a little more predictable in how he's blitzing in. He does it the exact same way every single time, and that's what's led to him getting caught in these situations. People can read it, and Oleksiejczuk is that better boxer, and I think he's going to read that exact same thing once he gets the timing of Holland, once he, the anxiousness, the anxiety, or like, the adrenaline has worn off. That's when Oleksiejczuk's time is going to be there to strike, man. And with those clean hands, with the power that he presents, Kevin Holland can have that blitzing style, but if he gets on that back foot, we're not going to see another good look for Kevin Holland on the judges' scorecard.
All right. I like the play right there. 1.5 rounds, over or under?
Woo, man. Over or under 1.5. Give me the over.
Minus 150 is what it's currently tracking, plus 120 for the under. Give us one good play for Kevin Holland prop.
Kevin Holland prop, man. Plus 255 decision. I love that one.
All right, and I'm going to take Michal Oleksiejczuk any way it comes. We're taking pure dog right here. Currently, right now, folks, plus 245. You can't ask for a better dog than that one. I just happen to think that he's live. So if we're lucky, we'll hear the dogs barking on the post show. But with that being said, folks, we have a contentious pick right here, our only one of the card.